Creed 2 is the sequel to Creed and is directed by Stephen Caple Jr., starring Michael B. Jordan, Sylvester Stallone, Tessa Thompson, and Dolph Lungren. Adonis Creed, after the events of Creed, has gone on to win 7 in a row and has just become the World Heavyweight Champion and has proposed to Bianca. Everything is looking good until he receives a challenge from Victor Drago, the son of Ivan Drago, the man who killed his father in the ring. Naturally, Adonis feels like he has a duty to win this fight for his father, and we get something that is a whole lot more than a straight up revenge tale rehashing elements from Rocky 4. It's really strange that all the Rocky films are still canon, considering Rocky 4 had robots and a hammy political message where everyone can change. The film not only grounds that story from 30 years ago, but also brings more to his opponent. Ivan Drago in Rocky 4 was just a cartoony villain that was just pure evil, molded by the Russian government. Since losing to Rocky, his life has taken a spiral. He now lives in Ukraine and has raised his son to fight. He lost his wife, the respect and love of the Russian people. He lost everything, which adds up with the canon of him being Russia's pet project. And the development he and his son are given in this film is powerful. And I am just going to say it, the Dragos need their own movie of redemption. Both these characters, through their limited dialogue and clear motivations, are made to be more than just the big bad that our underdog protagonist has to take on. Ivan is not evil in this, he is just bitter about how bad his life has gone since that fight, and the interaction he has with Rocky was subdued but powerful. One thing he says about pictures is a serious gut punch, and his development from start to end is solid. Victor, he is just trying to make his dad proud, plain and simple. He resents the Russians for casting him out, and he's messed up with how he has had to live his whole life. He doesn't get why his father is trying so hard to gain acceptance after everything that has happened before, and for someone who at face value looks just like a meathead, has a lot of depth and pain with him. I wish we got more of them in this, or more interactions between Rocky and Ivan, because I feel like there is more to be said there. Rocky is such a good mentor to Adonis, with his wisdom and regrets constantly seeping through. This character is content with how his life has turned out, but he is a damaged man, and I love the dynamic between him and Adonis when they are exchanging humorous dialogue or connecting fighter to fighter. I feel these films do a fantastic job of showing a fighter's psyche, because at the end of the day, these guys' job is getting paid to beat people up or get beaten up for our pleasure and amusement. And I really enjoy the psyche that this film dives into. As for Adonis and Bianca, they had to be one of the most real feeling couples in cinema. Even though one's a famous boxer and one is a singer who is getting bigger every day, they still feel like real people, and the interactions are so genuine. Bianca as well, I was worried she would lose a lot of her character in this after she has a baby. But no, she's still chasing her career and managing to balance both the baby and her career and dealing with an outright stubborn fiancé. And I really love how she has developed. Now, I haven't mentioned Adonis much, and while his character is good, it feels like he goes through the same character beats. What I mean by that is that in the first one, he is a hot-tempered brat that needs to prove himself, and in the end, he's doing it for himself and matures as a person. He has the exact same arc in this one, where he spends the first half of the movie being angsty as hell and stubbornly ignores the advice from Rocky and his ma, and it's only in the second half where he starts to become a relatable, endearing character again. I could tell his development was weaker when I wanted Drago to win the fight, and all Drago does is mostly stare with a few lines of foreign dialogue. I just feel Adonis is a little underdeveloped, and speaking of undeveloped aspects, remember in that first Creed film where Rocky is diagnosed with cancer and it's built like it will be his biggest fight in his entire life, and how the two would work together to win each other's respective fight? Well, in between films, Rocky's cancer is cured. It's mentioned once that he got better and that's it. And so that's something I felt could have really built over time that has just been swept to one side and forgotten about. Now, I understand to a point it allows more screen time to focus on other elements, but there's a fair amount of Creed stuff that can be trimmed down that could have made more room for either the Drago's storyline or Rocky's cancer fight. I also had this small gripe where there wasn't a massive build to the fight, and time is constantly jumping forward. This film takes place over the course of maybe 12 to 14 months, and there is never a smooth transition jumping these periods. Now, performance-wise, Sylvester Stallone is as expected fantastic as the other Rocky, and he is gunning for that Oscar that he should have won with the first Creed. He sells the pain and regret of those events 30 years ago, and really nailed his connection with Adonis. However, he should really be thankful that we don't get too much of Dolph Lundgren in this, because as much as Rocky's character has developed in these Creed films, Ivan Drago has well and truly become a fleshed out character, and you can't blame his bitterness. The way he delivers his lines in a scene opposite Stallone is heartbreaking and could well be award worthy if there were more scenes with him in it. Florian Munteanu, who plays Victor Drago, makes his feature-length debut and comes out swinging. I don't think I've ever seen a big scary-looking guy like this ever look so vulnerable as he is when he is alone with his family and his day job colleagues. His emoting is brilliant, and I really want him to have his own movie, which is saying something considering this is his only role apart from a short film from a couple of years ago. It's not quite Rickman debut levels, but it is up there. Michael B. Jordan is great as Creed, and I love it when he becomes a shying, vulnerable, awkward person. That proposal scene was probably one of the most real things I have ever seen on screen. I just wish Creed had different things to do in this one. Tessa Thompson is a very lovely actress and is very good at selling her performance in a subtle way. She isn't tearing the house down, but she brings a lot of the real human moments with Michael B. Jordan, and I really enjoyed how she performs. Overall, Creed 2 doesn't quite hit the levels of the first Creed, but it does give us the best and most real feeling antagonist in this entire franchise. Creed is still the best in the entire series for me, but the villain was just kind of there in that film. The Dragos have become more than just the meat-headed Goliaths that David has to be and become people. Stallone is proving he can well and truly act, and with a truly real feeling romance as well, there is no reason to dislike this film, but it does have an unbalanced feeling, and with a bit more of the Dragos, it would be great. As it stands though, Creed 2 is just a good cup of tea. So Creed 2, have you all seen it? What did you think? Let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Hit the round subscribe button for more reviews coming all the time, and drop a like. This is the Spikehead Podcast, signing off.